you know, not. What a terrible Pima County registrar he would make. So, this is the first time they're meeting, actually. Hanky. That's my kitty, don't. It's Ginger. He's cool. Thanks, Hank. Thank Hank. See, we can all get along, even a pit bull and a kitten. This is Adelaide's, my peach shake. Isn't she lovely? Yes, you are, darling. And they're under my tangerine tree. Under a tangerine. It's not mine. Nothing's mine. But it's a beautiful tangerine tree. The blossoms smell lovely. Citrus grows great out here in the desert. In the deserts, as I like to call it. This is Mini Cock. Isn't he gorgeous? Look at those iridescent colors. Green on his tail and the orange in his neck feathers. I'm gonna paint pictures of them all. This is Mini Cock. He's my first cock. I used to have just a regular cock, but kind of like KFC. I made a mistake, but that's in my podcast. I can't go over that. It's too traumatizing. Let's look at something green. Look at some flowers. I don't even know what that is, but it looks beautiful, doesn't it? That's a mesquite. A mesquite. That's ceremonial gourd back there. As a trained ethnobotanist, I grow seeds that I got from the Pasquayaki tribe. So here's a shout out to other progressive women candidates like Lisa Sun in Phoenix. I'm sorry she didn't make it through the primaries, but I told her to keep trying and run for something else. And I'm telling everybody, all the good people I meet, I got signatures from 650 people, Pima County residents, when I was trying to get on the ballot for sheriff, Pima County sheriff, and then COVID struck. But there are some great people out there, man. We do have some racists, of course, you know. We have some big old Trump supporters, but you know, the great people, the Democrats, and you know, I met some great. I got 20 signatures from Republicans too. You know, in a Trista world, you know, when they ask me to get 999 signatures to run for sheriff of Pima County, be the first woman sheriff, and the first Rastafarian sheriff, and the first like beautiful single sheriff, and the most progressive sheriff in the probably the world's. I'll be the first sheriff who has never actually worked in law enforcement before. And in fact, I had just signed up to be volunteering with the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers when I myself got roughed up by the police. I guess, you know, that's an understatement. I got beat up in my own driveway down here. I'll just have to do a podcast one day or do a film of like where Sheriff Kinnair had his knee on my neck in my own driveway. Could have killed me that day. And I wouldn't be standing here running for sheriff and Arizona governor and president. Person who presides in the White House. is not the person who should be presiding in the White House. So that's another reason why I'm running for a write-in president, okay? And I'm inviting Democrats, Republicans, Independents who would otherwise not be voting in this election. I'm inviting you to go to the polls anyway, and if you vote for me, great. Be honored to maybe be the first write-in president of America, and woman, and most progressive. And in exchange, I would take Bernie Sanders as my VP. I endorse everything his platform stands for and the progressive movement. I believe I'm the only sheriff candidate in the country with Progressive Party endorsement, which I'm very proud of. And I'm asking for other, of course, progressive heroes and sheroes to endorse me. Please go to my website, Trista4Change, as in the number Trista4Change.com, and sign my guest book, and you can leave me your blessing, or if it's too much commitment to ask you to endorse me, you can also just leave a blessing or a comment or a joke or anything, really. So that's Trista4Change.com. So yeah, we've been traumatized. This is our equivalent of having the Nazis suddenly shake down our party, right? I mean, we were just fine. I was not a Hillary Clinton fan either. I think she should be locked up for the election frauds that took place, obviously, during the Democratic primaries, along with Pete Buttigieg. And you know what it comes down to? This. Bernie Sanders should already be our president. And if the DNC hadn't carried out election frauds in 2016 and this year as well, then we would have President Sanders already. I'm taking a moment to let that sink in, because if we had Bernie Sanders as president right now, we would have COVID under control. We wouldn't have 177,000 dead Americans right now. So, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to give you hope. Because I know I'm a political science trained at Berkeley, a Berkeley alumni scholar in political science, twice alumni scholar. And I ran for Washington, D.C. City Council before. I was termed the education candidate. I'm proud of that. That was a nice review. And I also got knocked off the ballot then by Sharon Ambrose, who then went on to win. She was the only other woman on the ballot, and she didn't want me to split the vote, apparently. So she asked me to not run, and I just, ignored her. And then she got a team of lawyers to contest my signatures. And then guess what? She, I was working in a temp agency at the time, and so I didn't have the time or the wherewithal to go and to the registrar's office and check on and verify all my signatures. Same thing happened this time. So if you want to talk about conspiracies, yeah, sure. It's not a. It's a truth. It's not a conspiracy. And conspiracy is a legal term, actually. So I'm a little bit more about me. I'm an aspiring human rights, civil rights lawyer, and Doctors Without Borders physician, and an Oxford-trained volunteer trauma counselor, PTSD, and trained ethnobotanist, medical humanities. One of my ideal jobs, what I was working towards, I got my PADI, and I wanted to become an underwater archaeologist. So yeah, I've traveled the world. I've been to so many countries, I don't know how many, and I speak several languages, including Chinese, the Chinese, Mandarin, and French, and etc. And the biggest problem, as I see it, that there are too many criminals running around free. And we need to clean up shop. We need to really hashtag drain the swamp for reals. And round them up like doggies. And you know, America, once we do that, then we'll have all this behind us. So just try to think of when this is all over and they're safely behind bars. And we're just kicking back and enjoying life again. I mean, I have I'm a former teacher and newspaper writer, editor, journalist, creative writer, poet. I have a book of poetry called The War on Sleep, and I performed it around Ireland on a cycling tour some years back. And I've done some stand-up comedy. I'm going to bring humor into the White House. My choice of running mate is Sarah Cooper, the TikTok star, and I think she's going to help us save the world. And in fact, I'm in the process right now of trying to contact her and asking her if she will join my tickets to run. I believe it'd be on the Progressive Party tickets, although the Progressive Party has already endorsed Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders is not running. So I want to put together a ticket of 2 very progressive women of color. Guess you could say I'm colorful. Guess you could consider me a woman of color. And plan to invite all the awesome resources that we have here in America. Ralph Nader, if Bernie Sanders turns me down and won't take his place, his rightful place as at least vice president, or you know what, he can be president. I'm not ambitious in that sense. I'm in this only as a public advocate. And the powers that be, they haven't made any provisions for us. Like, what if Joe Biden croaks right before both of them croak, and then we would have President Sanders? That sounds kind of neat.